Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today we're diving straight into what is, without a doubt, the largest and fastest reorganization of corporate work since the personal computer hit our desks. Look, the era of AI-assisted work, that's basically over. We've officially entered the era of AI-replaced work. Now, it's really easy to look at the massive wave of recent tech layoffs like some kind of corporate horror movie. But instead, let's use them as a map. We are going to chart out this staggering structural shift, dig into the actual data, and figure out exactly how we can position ourselves ahead of the curve. To set the stage, we have to start with a pretty brutal, unavoidable truth from Jack Dorsey. He recently laid off 40% of his entire company. I mean, we're talking about 4,000 people here. And you know what's wild? He didn't dress it up in the usual corporate jargon. He didn't try to soften the blow by calling it a strategic restructuring or right-sizing. When people asked him why he did it, he just called it honest. He straight up explained that his team ran a mere 3-week experiment using Anthropic's Claude Opus 4.6 alongside OpenAI's Codex 5.3. And at the end of those 21 days, they just realized the AI could do the work, period. That stark, almost scary realization right there, that is the catalyst for everything we're about to unpack today. So let's put some numbers to this structural shift, because I feel like folks aren't fully adding this up yet. As of April 2026, over 150,000 tech jobs have been eliminated across more than 500 companies. And that's just this year. We're not talking about a slight market correction here. This is an absolute avalanche. The fundamental landscape of how we work is literally shifting under our feet as we speak. Now, why is this happening so incredibly fast? Well, Tom's Hardware dug into the data, and they found that roughly 80,000 of those layoffs hit in the first quarter alone. But here is the absolutely crucial part. Last year, AI was cited in fewer than 8% of layoff announcements. It was barely a blip, but this year, that number has skyrocketed to nearly 50%. Almost half of all these job losses are now being directly attributed to AI and workflow automation. And we're not just talking about tiny startups quietly closing up shop. The names making these cuts in 2026 are monumental. We're talking Meta shedding 8,000 jobs, Microsoft dropping over 6,000. Amazon just went through its largest layoff round in company history. Salesforce eliminated 4,000 customer support roles, and Mark Benioff actually came out and bluntly said they just need less heads. Oracle cut thousands of people while at the exact same time massively accelerating their AI infrastructure spending. Snap, Disney, Nike, the list just keeps going. The big takeaway here, the corporate world has entirely stopped pretending. They've dropped the "we're seeking efficiency" PR spin, and they're just naming AI directly. Let's move into our next section, the Goldman Sachs scarring data, and tracking the economic aftermath. Okay, so what actually happens to the people who get let go? The historical data from Goldman Sachs traces this grim aftermath, and it is not subtle. In the short term, tech-displaced workers spend a full month longer just trying to find a new gig. Fast forward 1 year, and their inflation-adjusted earnings drop by more than 3% compared to folks who didn't lose their jobs. But the really shocking part is the long-term view. 10 years down the road, a full decade after a tech-driven job loss, these workers find their real earnings are still lagging 10 percentage points behind their peers. Economists actually have a pretty brutal term for this phenomenon. They call it scarring. It means this isn't just a temporary setback or a quick bout of unemployment, it's a permanent dent in your life's trajectory. This economic scarring leads to way slower wealth accumulation. It means delaying buying a house, pushing back starting a family, and Goldman Sachs even found it correlates with a significantly lower probability of ever getting married. It's heavy stuff. Oh, and to make matters worse, this effect is magnified if the displacement happens during a broader macro recession, which, is exactly the kind of bumpy environment we're navigating right now. But wait, it's not all doom and gloom. Are you just completely out of luck if an AI takes your job? Absolutely not. Goldman Sachs found a single, critical variable that completely shatters this 10-year scarring pattern. Workers who took the initiative to actively upgrade their skills, specifically into roles that complement the new technology, they didn't just recover their old salaries, they actually broke the curve and moved up the ladder. They adapted, and it paid off massively. Which brings us to part 3. 3 moves to survive, and how you can architect your pivot this very quarter. So what is the actual game plan? There are 3 actionable steps you absolutely need to take to adapt to this new world. Step 1, you have to audit your operations. Step 2, completely reposition your professional role. And step 3, start building immediately so you can leverage these new tools. Let's unpack these one by one. For step 1, the audit, if you're running a company, your question shouldn't be, should I use AI? That's old news. Your question needs to be, Which 30% of my operating costs can I eliminate in the next 90 days? The source research highlights some highly specific targets for this: customer support, sales prospecting, content production, internal reporting, code review, and document drafting. For every single one of these tasks, there is a production-ready AI replacement sitting there, waiting to be used today in 2026. And the craziest part? Running that AI costs less than 5% of what you pay a traditional human team to do the same work. 5%? Moving to step 2, we're talking about a massive mindset shift. If you want to survive, you literally have to stop competing with the technology. You just can't outgrind a machine. The displaced worker is the person stubbornly trying to outwork the AI at doing the specific task. But the next-gen professional, the person who completely avoids that economic scarring we talked about, is the human who steps back and becomes the orchestrator. Your value isn't in doing the task anymore. It's entirely in managing and deploying the AI agent that does the task for you. Okay, step 3, building. And I want you to really think about this timeline. The original analysis predicts that the next 18 months are going to produce more million-dollar businesses than the last 5 years combined. Now, you might be wondering, how is that even possible? Well, it's because the cost and friction of building a business have practically dropped to zero. Because the cost has collapsed so much, we are seeing what experts call the asymmetry opportunity. Let's put that into perspective. One human being, acting as the manager, plus a handful of well-deployed AI agents can now easily generate the same output that used to require a traditional 30-person team. 30 people. It's like having a giant corporate workforce in your laptop. This incredible asymmetry is a goldmine for entrepreneurs right now. But, and this is a big but, it's fleeting. As the broader market figures this out and normalizes these capabilities, this massive window of opportunity is going to slam shut. So to actively dodge that scarring effect and actually take advantage of this asymmetry, the source outlines some really specific pathways. If you're running a 7- or 8-figure operation and you need to rip out 6 figures worth of costs, you should be looking at enterprise rebuilds, stuff like First Movers AI, which offers different tiers to launch and liberate your operations. On the flip side, if you're a solopreneur or frankly just someone who knows they need to learn this stuff, you have incredibly accessible starting points. They highly recommend the Pre-Labs Bootcamp. It's literally a $150 3-session course, and it is designed to teach you more about deploying AI agents than the average mid-level manager at Meta knows right now. To wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with this absolutely wild piece of data from the Stanford 2026 AI Index. In just one single year, AI agents leaped from a 12% success rate on complex, real-world computer tasks all the way up to a 66% success rate. I mean, that is a rocket ship of progression. The layoffs we're seeing, they're real. The economic scarring, very real. This whole structural shift is happening right now. So, as this wave of automation crashes over the global workforce, you are left with one vital question to ask yourself. Will you be flattened by the agent, or will you use this map to become the architect who deploys it?